All right, fire and earth. I'll start doing the little reading at 1 minute now that I see how this shit works. Fire and earth, fire and earth. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Come on out. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and see. Oh, two things already came out. Alright, so emotionally, or there's a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, maybe dealing with the Cancer. I'm leaning more towards Cancer in the situation that you're dealing with. This is for fire signs. All my fire signs. What are the issues with fire? Fire, fire, fire. Fire, 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 fire. Whoa. Okay, so you're in a situation that you know you're not supposed to be in, and there's lots of signs that have already warned you for that. And it seems as though the longer you wait, the more conflict comes about, the more aggression builds, and it causes someone to communicate in a very distant and cold manner in the situation. And so it's like a never-ending cycle of just getting worse and worse when it comes to how things are dealt with. And this is the type of energy that is needed to create like really tense type of energy, like to create situations where the hurt can only like keep going, if that makes any sense. There's no like stopping to the hurt with that type of energy around. Let's see what else comes out. You could also be dealing with the Capricorn, but I do feel like this is just a toxic situation that you're kind of addicted to. It can be a codependent type of situation with the person emotionally, or just someone who really brings out the worst in you or brings out your ego. Problems for fire. You're also dealing with a lot of options. You have a lot on your plate, or a lot of choices that you could make. But a lot of it is dealing with betrayal that you already know about. Like, you already know that you need to let go of the situation. You also know that you need to walk away from the situation emotionally. So again, it's like things that you already know. Some of you may be in the process of trying to do this or trying to get out of the situation. It may not be just easy to just end it for some of you, but I do see that there's a definite need to be real with yourself and look in the mirror. Yeah, but some of you are starting to look at things on a more optimistic angle, and you're starting to feel a little bit more confident in what's going on. You're not being so mopey about the situation. It could be because it's getting better, or because you're figuring out a way to get out of it, which is really good. I like to see that. You're more optimistic in your emotional life. So for some of you, it could be that you are finding a little bit more trust in your partner. But with this happening, you're starting to neglect looking into yourself. You're not being introspective anymore, which it could be a problem, but I don't see it as a major issue. This could also be about a person who is an earth sign, a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, leaning more towards Capricorn, but they seem as though they're leaving the situation because it no longer serves them. So maybe the other person left you. This could also be a situation where you are starting to look at it more optimistic emotionally, but I think it's just because you don't have another choice. Your world could be still upside down just because it's something totally different that you have to get used to, aka someone leaving or, you know, a change up in your life. And because of this, you start to focus more on your money and also just being a little bit more secure with yourself and being a little bit more quiet and introspective when it comes to your personality, okay? So that is what's showing up here for my fire signs. And we're going to go ahead and go to Earth and see what's going on with my Earth signs. Earth signs, Earth signs, Earth signs. Earth, 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 Earth. Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. What are the issues that Earth signs are going through right now? Issues with earth signs. All right, so some of you guys are in need of financial help. Also, it could just be that you guys are needing help and maybe not asking for it, whether it's advice, finances, spiritual help is a big deal with that card. What do we need help on? Why is there a sense of help being needed? Because emotionally, you're not in good shape. Emotionally, you maybe just had a breakup, or maybe just things are really, really hard to deal with in your emotional life. What is causing emotional turmoil for earth signs? For some of you, it could definitely be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Maybe making a really rookie move and doing something you just didn't have any business doing. It could also be about letting go of that fire sign. And if it wasn't a fire sign, then it could just be anyone that you were dealing with, obviously. But I did want to make sure that I said fire because it popped up. Any more issues? You're also taking on a lot. You have a lot on your plate right now, earth signs, and it's time for you to kind of prioritize what's important and what needs to be done now and what can be put, you know, on the back burner, because you're doing a lot, and it could cause you to just be doing way too much for yourself. And, you know, you can have a burnout. Oh, hi. Waiting on an Aries. Aries has been popping up a lot. Cancer just came up as well. Okay, so let's go. Do you have any specific questions that you want to ask since you're here? You can go ahead if you would like to. About that situation or any situation. Aries. Okay, so it seems like, I'm just going to tell you what I see because it popped out. So the Aries here is either, I don't want to say like a third party situation, but they seem to be preoccupied with like having fun. This is the Aries here being kind of like on its own path. And this is my twin flame. Okay. And so they're trying to, it looks like they're just focused on that. Like that's what they're honestly up to at the moment. And they haven't yet prioritized what they need. So let's see if this is your twin flame. 1 second. And that could be why you feel like you're waiting on this person, because it's like you're waiting on them to like grow up, basically. Let's see. Your twin flame. Yeah, they definitely are your twin flame. Definitely. Now, the problem with this, in some ways that you might differ with this person, is financially. They may have a different relationship with money than you do. It looks like communication is okay with you guys. It doesn't seem to be an issue. But emotionally, you guys may deal totally different with each other in emotional type of situations. And so that could cause lots of issues, aka being a twin flame. It's kind of like being the opposite but being the same person. So it's almost like you're dealing with your shadow self, and vice versa. He's dealing with his shadow self, who would be kind of like what you embody as well. So, yeah, you guys are a twin flame, so 3 out of 3. So, definitely. but you can still feel that person though, you know? Like, that's kind of what a twin flame is about. It's like, even though you're not around or with each other, you kind of always know, like, what you may not know the details, but you know what's going on, or you know when something's up with this person. Like, you feel it, you know? And the fact that you wanted to know if it's your twin flame is probably because you feel like that connection with them. Keep in mind, a twin flame can be from a past life, and they could have been just a family member in your past life, or somebody that you had shared experiences with, in any shape or form, in another spirit realm or whatever. So twin flames are kind of tricky because you never know where that connection comes from, but there's ways to figure that out. But you definitely have a connection with this person, on an emotional level. This is the moon card here. So yeah, but you know the signs of when things are tricky, and you know when he's being manipulative. But you know, yeah, you think he's married. Let me see. Okay, so it looks like he could be, but for some reason I feel like it's not a completion to like what he wants. Like, this may be TMI, but sexually it doesn't look like they're very like happy with each other. They probably have a lot of emotional issues, and the only thing that maybe they're staying together for is the stability of like domestic wise. Or this could be someone that he may not be married to, but it's somebody that he's just dealing with and he's comfortable with. But it seems as though it's not like it doesn't seem like he's ready, because when you said, you know, that he was in Aries, and then I kind of had some cards come out, it just seemed as though he's like in a state where he still wants to have fun. So I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe he's just not ready. Like, he's just going through his own trials and tribulations so that he can become a better person. But just because someone is a twin flame, it doesn't mean that you have to pursue them. So sometimes a twin flame, it's like, you know that it's them, but once you ran your course with this person and learned what there was to learn from that situation, that was the whole point, you know, getting through a twin flame. It's not always that you have to be with this person. And most of the time, after lifetimes of having connections with this person, it's time to leave them alone anyways. It's just you needed to figure out what was the lesson behind it all, especially if they're at a state where they're still not ready to do what they needed to do in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's time to just walk away from it. But this is like your soul's purpose. 8 of Cups is a very spiritual card. And at the top you can see there's an eclipse on the card. And so this means that it's like a spiritual thing that you have to do, and it's better for your soul. So again, it may not be comfortable and it may make you feel vulnerable, but it's something that you needed to do, maybe for many lifetimes. So you should feel very proud of yourself if you're moving on. And you still may have connections towards this person, but again, it's all about your control. You can control, and you bring in anything that you want into this universe because you're creating it as you go. So just keep that in mind. Even when it feels like, oh my gosh, like, did I make the right decision? Just keep moving forward. Live in the now. Yeah. Keep the hope alive. That's what this card is, the star card. There could also be an Aquarius coming through that could help you, whether you know it or not. But yeah, so just keep an eye out on that. Alrighty. I think that's it. Do you think it will be soon? Do I think what will be soon for you guys to get back together? Oh, okay. Not anytime soon, no. The reason being, you have 4, let's see, 4 and 4. The reason being is because you have other things that you're supposed to be paying attention to, and these are like, this is you, and this is you looking at your you're looking at things that have already been done, and up here, the universe is waiting to give you something else. So while you're looking at the other things that you want to happen, you're wasting time, basically. And this could be the time where he has to figure out that he's not in love with whoever he's with, or maybe that's not the situation he should have gotten himself into. But if you're so busy focusing on trying to get back with him, when he's done, you're not going to be able to meet him halfway in the middle. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so you need to give it a rest mentally, like just let it go. I mean, it's not like you're letting it go emotionally, but you have to be at a state where you can live your life without wanting him so bad, because that's really going to show you that you've grown. It's kind of like when you have a breakup. If you break up just to go with somebody else, then you're not going to fully be able to be committed to them in the first place. So you need to let go of all of your own attachments that you've had to the past situation, because if you guys ever come back together, which it could be, but in the future, you're not going to have that same connection anyways. Life is going to happen. Things are going to be added to the situation. So yeah, I mean, feelings are difficult, but there's so much more to who we are. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if someone has that much of a hold on you, then you have to do more work on yourself. You have to make yourself a little bit more spiritually, what's the word? Spiritually, you need to fortify your spirit, because you shouldn't have to feel that much for him, especially if you know that he's going to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a balance there, and you have to be able to take care of yourself. And I feel like depending on your chart, well, yeah, but I mean, if you've waited this long, you can keep waiting. You know what I mean? Like, age is just a number, and I don't mean that in a creepy way. I mean, like, in the sense of time in this realm, it's just a number that lets people know like where you're at in the span of life. But if something is really real and something has been happening for lifetimes, then it'll come to you. Like, it'll happen the way it's supposed to. But if you're trying to like wish all these things or whatever it is, trying to force something that just won't work, then it's never going to work out the way you want it to. We have Hangman in reverse. Try not to do too much. Just sit and observe and have your time to be like complete with yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to be completely comfortable. 9 of Cups, with who you are emotionally. And once you're whole emotionally, that's when the people that are supposed to be in your life come anyway. So if you really want things to speed up, you have to be whole within yourself first. And that's something that you have to do and work on every day. 7 of Pentacles. But it can happen. It definitely can. Alrighty, I think I'm going to head on out because I have said my piece for earth signs and fire. Hopefully that helps you out in your situation. And yeah.